Biodiversity, which is defined as the amount of biological or living diversity per unit area, is more important in our daily lives than we may think. There are many reasons why we should conserve biodiversity, and these reasons are divided into types of values, direct and indirect. Indirect values are, for example, food sources and natural products, like medicine and rice. Indirect values are, for example, environmental services, scientific and educational values, biological control agents, gene pools, human health, human rights, recreational values, ecotourism, and ethical values.
Conservation of biodiversity do not necessarily want to exclude humans from nature, while preservation has an ecocentric viewpoint and attempts to exclude human activity from nature.
Organizations that work to conserve or preserve biodiversity fall into three categories. Intergovernmental organizations, IGOs, they are also called international organizations and are composed of a group of countries. They are considered slow. Governmental organizations, GOs, are funded by national government and research, regulate, monitor, and control activities. They are considered slow. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, they are not part of a government, are not for profit, some run by volunteers. They have no legal powers but pressure governments, like Greenpeace.
No nation can afford to ignore the rest of the world. Countries are working together for sustainable development and environmental protection, complemented by NGOs. Important moments in the timeline of key dates for biodiversity conservation include the World Conservation Strategy, published in 1980, which presented a united, integrated approach to conservation for the first time. The Rio Earth Summit 1992, where world leaders agreed on a sustainable development agenda, and the Earth Council Global Biodiversity Strategy to help countries integrate biodiversity into their national planning. The UN Millennium Summit 2000, the largest ever gathering of world leaders who agreed to set Millennium Development Goals. The World Summit 2005, that recommended that each country prepare its own national strategy for the conservation of natural resources. And Rio Plus 20 2013, that focused on how to build a green economy and how to improve cooperation for sustainable development.
So, there are three basic approaches to conservation. First one, species-based, in which it focuses on conserving the species but does not focus on conserving the habitat in which it lives. An example could be zoos or botanical gardens. The second approach is conservation of a habitat. This one focuses on designing the protected areas. The size of the protected area depends on the requirements of the species. The third one is a mixture of both, in which they focus on conserving the species and also designing and conserving habitats of the species.